What's up, everybody? It's G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 243, continuing these firearms studies, and we're actually moving along pretty well. All this reference book that I have, there's so many, and then once you actually break them down, it's like, oh, there's not that much at all. It's just like the variety being juggled around. So where they're rendering out the entire um, every combination within the variety. I'm just kind of uh, you know putting down one and then throwing all the side stuff on the side. And yeah, so it's like, oh, it's not as much work as I thought it'd be, because I'm already moving on to the third page. um, Actually, one, two, three, the fourth page of references, and I'm still only on a page and a half of drawings. So yeah, man, it's neat that it's working out that way. So maybe I'll actually get through these things a little bit faster than I thought. Where when I started this, I'd say I'd probably be doing it for like a month or something. It may not even be a full month. We'll see. Maybe it will be. I'm always wrong, aren't I? Anyways, yeah, I didn't stream anymore last night just because, yeah, my for some reason my ass was sleeping, and my lower back was hurting, so I just did like 2 sessions of yoga and kind of chilled out, and then I watched finished the rest of the Iki arc on Ghost of Tsushima of Max Dude's playthrough, and yeah, it was pretty much the rest of my night. Um, and yeah, but feeling better. So let's get back to it. I'm gonna do another semi-auto, and I'll just throw in the main firearm here, and then just the back stock at behind it, right below it. I got YouTube playing in the background. It's a video about halfway through. What is it? The Everything Always, talking about Daredevil in the MCU. And I got some Spider-Man No Way Home stuff, and then some Zelda stuff. So, yeah, I'm just gonna let that stuff rock in the background, and I'm going to, well, let's just get on with it.
Plus, or a streaming service, and again, I think an R-rated label for characters like Deadpool and Punisher make a lot of sense, and I think the visceral violence that served Daredevil during the Netflix series would also serve him in the MCU if they could do the same thing. Now, touching quickly on that leaked Spider-Man No Way Home photo, actually there's 2 of them going around, and they look like they're similar to the others that have been either photoshopped or copyright struck, the ones on the blue background. It shows 2 pillars in front of what looks like Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the black and red suit flipping a web. Someone then took that photo and photoshopped another Spider-Man, what looks like Tobey Maguire's or Andrew Garfield's, laying on the ground, possibly hurt and or dying. Now, it's still up in the air whether that photo, the first one, is a Photoshop or not. For risk that is a correct photo, you can find it all over the internet. I am not putting it in this video. Sony has indeed been copyright striking certain photos, so there are real ones out there. However, we now know that the one with 2 Spider-Men, the one with either Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield laying down next to the one that's standing up, is 100% fake. Not fake because we used any sort of software or anything like that. Fake because the person who made it took to Twitter and Instagram and everything else to show everyone how he faked it. I'm to the point with the faked photos, though, that because there are occasionally some that are real and Sony is copyright striking them, it seems like pretty randomly, I'm just not going to risk it. But they are all over the internet and Instagram, and I just warn you as you're out there surfing from them, remember, if you see a new photo that you haven't seen anywhere else and looks like a leaked set photo of Spider-Man No Way Home, that everybody basically has Photoshop now. There are kids who have very competent Photoshop skills that can do better than some adults and literally put out things that are imperceivable. And I know people are using reverse engineering software to see if a photo is 3D imaging or compiled, but newsflash, some of that stuff doesn't work, especially if you know how to work with filters. You can do basically anything with anything. So just keep your skeptical mind skeptical. Remember that most of them out there are fakes. Occasionally something gets through, but it's just like the leaks we report on here at the channel. You never know. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. And quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff again before I let you go. We're still giving away a couple of PlayStation 5s and weekly Disney Plus subscriptions. We'll also still be doing that weekly What If watch party tomorrow on the channel. But this week we're giving away tickets to go see Shang-Chi all week long. So the first winner we're announcing for the Shang-Chi tickets is Mama Faith for this comment right here. All you have to do to claim the tickets, DM me at IamFires on Instagram or email me. My email's on the About section on my channel. Go ahead and subscribe to your channel. I'll verify you and get the tickets right out, guys. It's that simple. All you have to do to be entered to win here at the channel for any future giveaways, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. Best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with notifications turned on. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name AllFires. Thanks so much for checking out the channel, guys, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.
This is The Big Question, the show that gives you too much information about all the webtoons inside of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And we know a lot about that for some reason.
I want to put some in your eye.
So many tubes.
My name's MT, and I'm here today with Offspring producer Brandon, one of my favorite people. What's going on, Brandon?
Hello, MT. I'll talk to you anytime. I'll swing on over from whatever reality I'm in to whatever reality you're in, and we'll just chat. It'll be great.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Thank you, Brandon. Wow, no one's ever said they would cross realities for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying,
I gotta get
my
that.
exes. Just saying.
Listen, find you someone who will cross realities for you, okay?
That's what I'm
If
saying.
they ain't willing to cross reality, come get you, they don't deserve you.
They ain't worth it. They ain't worth it. But anyway, hit me with that big question, Brandon.
Okay, I mean, MT, what's on everyone's minds these days? It's that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. It's finally here, and we got some confirmation on some things that have been speculated about, mainly that we're gonna see some villains from other Spider-Man film franchises showing up in the MCU. Now, there have been rumors that other Spider-Men might be coming over to the MCU.
Ooh,
We don't have a confirmation on that yet, but it looks like maybe we're going that way. Can we dream? Do we dare dream a dream?
I dare dream. Keep the dream alive.
So if we potentially have all these Peter Parkers colliding, okay, that would mean that maybe these variants would have to have some conversations about all the little differences in their realities and how it meshes with the MCU's reality. So that got us thinking about this week's big question. What variances will have to be reconciled when multiple Peter Parkers collide?
Oh shit! Big Parkers collide. Big Parkers
attack.
Okay, so the rumors might be true. We could potentially see all three Peter Parkers in one film. 3 Peters, one film. Better than 2 Girls, 1 Cup, let me tell you that much.
I'm not watching it again.
Tobey Maguire's.
Stop sending it to me, MC. Stop.
It's the music in that film. Wow. So of course we're talking about Tobey Maguire's original Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Skater Boy Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man series, and MCU's precocious Tom Holland Night Monkey Spider-Man hybrid.
Night Monkey! Night Monkey, help!
Night Monkey.
Which one is he? Who knows? Maybe this is why Doctor Strange can't figure out the spell. It's like, you're Night Monkey, you're Spider-Man, I don't know who you are.
That might cause some
That's not a
confusion.
spell.
It's true, it's true.
But all of these spider realities have their own unique variances. Some characters were present in only 1 or 2 realities, while some appeared in all 3. And Peter has different love interests across universes. Aunt May owns a house in some worlds and is Happy Hogan's main squeeze in some others. So let's go through the inconsistencies amongst the Peters and see if we can determine what plot points Spider-Man No Way Home might have to address, starting with the web fluid. So let's say all 3 Peters meet up in the new film. And one of the most interesting conversations that those Peters would definitely have to have would be around their web fluid, because they're all scientists after all, they're all nerds. I feel like Peter doesn't have a lot of people he can talk about web fluid with.
Right? He had to hide it in class. He can't talk about it. Ned knows about it, I guess, but You know,
Right.
this is like an important moment in any Spider-Man's transition from Spider-Boy to Spider-Man is when you learn how to make the web.
It's all about the fluid. The fluid develops when you're a teenage boy.
Yeah.
That's what they tell you at school.
That's what they're working
Oh
on.
God! All right. So they're bound to be curious.
The fluid is really important too, right? Because it's probably like if you're a comic book fan, to a non-comic book person, they're like the webbing, you know what? And they're like, no, he's a smart boy, right? He was already a really smart boy. The spider might make him a little even smarter. And one of the things he does is figure out how to make web fluid because you know he's stuck with the Spider-Man gimmick, so he's got to make webs. You can't be Spider-Man and not have webs. Otherwise, you're just insects.
Exactly.
You're Bugman.
And like I do love that because it showcases that Peter was smart enough to make something so incredible as webs even without his powers.
Yes.
So like he was on a trajectory towards some type of nerdy greatness already. But there was one problem though. One problem. Tobey Maguire never had to figure out how to make web fluid since it just comes out of his body. I don't know how. I don't know how that feels, but like it's just really
It's
it's really gross how that happened.
And the scene where he figures it out is a little weird too. It's a little weird.
It's very weird. It's more than a little weird.
I don't want to kill you. Don't worry. You're not going to.
But look, back when Tobey's movies were made, comic book movies were not the cultural behemoths that they are today, and audiences weren't as savvy to all the explanations and strange concepts that comic books often introduce. So it was just easier to say that Spider-Man just makes web like a spider because he was bit by a radioactive spider, rather than explain that Peter Parker is also a genius who figures out, the chemical formula for making web. But the Sam Raimi movies never really explain just how Tobey is able to make that web fluid. The spider silk is a protein created by spiders in special organs called spinnerets, which is also the name of my side band where I sing with a bunch of talented spider-themed women. I'm just like, it's empty in the spinnerets.
MG of the Spinnerets. I'm gonna spin you wherever I
Oh
love.
my god.
I'm glad you're bringing this up, MT, because this has always like bothered me, like the mechanics of how he's getting web from inside of his body, outside of his body, how many calories he needs to eat a day to make all this webbing. Like, I hope they talk about it. I want a half hour of the movie just to be explaining this to me.
Right? Because like in Civil War, Sam says, "Is
Yeah.
this stuff coming out of you?"
That's
So
right.
like, I really hope that they lead on that. It's like, hey, this is stuff coming out of you. This is kind of weird. I really hope Sam is there to see Tobey Maguire
Just
shoot it at
flies
him.
by.
He's
He's
like, oh my
like,
god.
I told you, they shoot it at him.
So the spinnerets are an external organ on the body, and in this case, it would be weird bumps on Tobey's wrist. But inside the spider's body, connected to the spinneret, is a gland where the web is generated like a gel-like fluid, and it doesn't become a solid web until it exits the body.
Oh, so okay, you're saying, MT, that like those little bumps we saw in like the first Spider-Man, those are the spinnerets on Tobey,
Right.
and he's got like glands somewhere
Spinnerets.
somewhere in his body full of web fluid, the web gel.
Like in everybody's body. We all know
Everyone's
the gel
body.
to make spider webs, of course.
You all got a web gel sack, right?
And you might be thinking it's crazy that one Spider-Man can make all that web inside of his body, but the Darwin's bark spider is capable of shooting out a web 25 meters long, and that's 82 feet for those who are too lazy to convert to the metric system. Why
Damn.
haven't we done it? I don't know. Anyway, that spider is about, 0.6 inches long, like, something that I own. Just kidding.
Ouch.
That spider is about 0.8 inches long, and Tobey is about 5'8". So, if we extrapolate the size of the bark spider to Tobey, that means that Tobey should have no problem shooting over 6,970 feet of web. That's a lot of web
That's a
for him.
lot of web.
That's almost 7,000 feet of web.
That's over a mile. That's a ton of web.
Dude, imagine him just shooting out a mile of web at once. That would be disgusting. He just passes out at the end. He's like, It's like losing consciousness.
So if you think about like the train scene, right, when he's stopping the train, he shoots a bunch of web,
Yeah.
It breaks, it's not enough. And then
Right.
he shoots like a bunch more. And then at the end of it, he's kind of tired. He passes, he's like,
It's true. He's just like, I just shot all of my goo. I got no more goo left in me.
Oh, no more goo
Yeah,
left?
you gotta carry me.
Yeah.
I got no more goo.
all those extras. You have all those extras that get to deliver like their one line, man, and they just get it. They're like, he's just a boy.
Right?
He's just
Just
a
a
boy.
boy. Look at him, it's Spider-Man.
He's the Spider Boy, not Spider Man.
He could be my son.
I empathize with him now. I mean, he just saved your life, guys. Like, cut him some slack. Be nice to the boy.
Very strong boy.
Catch that boy.
Yeah, here comes a good boy. Kind of greasy boy. You know, that's a New York boy.
The original pizza boy.
Dirty boy. He looks like a boy. He's been moved down. Sweet boy. Here you go, little small boy.
Oh,
Small
they
boy,
stupid.
Get up, boy. They made the local newspaper headlines that said, hero boy has good fall.
Tobey Maguire does not look like a boy at any point in that franchise. That's a man.
I'm a man.
If someone carried a grown-ass man and said, it's just a boy, I'd be like, what the f***?
If that guy was walking around my high school, I'd be like, that guy's a cop. Come on. So, to be fair, everyone at Tobey Maguire's high school, it looks like a college campus. I mean, everyone at Flash looks old.
Freaking Joe Manchin.
Original Flash before it was Topher Grace, right? You know, MJ looks old. Everyone looks old at that high school. It's a little kooky.
It's true.
You never leave each other. Nothing separates us.
Oh, no.
Technically, Tom Holland is like, he's 25 playing a 15-year-old. I don't know how old Tom
He
Holland
looks
is. But
very cherubish. You know, he's a little baby boy. It's okay. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, so we gotta think like Toby's probably gotta eat like a little extra calories to fill up his web fluid sack, right? I mean, I'm sure all the Spider-Men are really hungry because they're swinging around. They probably have like pretty quick metabolisms. They got a healing factor. So I'm sure they're all eating a lot, but I bet Toby's got to eat like a little bit more because he's got to make his own web juice inside of his body.
It's true. He's got to drink his Spider-Aid, you know? Gotta get that energy up.
It's pizza time, baby. You know he's like stealing some of those pizzas that he's delivering. He's like, listen, I got it.
Seriously.
He's
Pizza
just
time, I
web
need it.
while he's delivering pizza. It's like, come on, guys. You can't be
It's
wasting your
true.
web.
Like, if I was Toby, instead of like, you know, like having them not pay for the pizza if it's late, I would just grab the pizza and be like, F you. Bye. If I'm not gonna pay for the pizza, you're not getting the
It's my
pizza.
pizza now.
I need the carbs in me for the goo, lady.
I'm not paying for those.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
It's gotta be dangerous for Toby Spider-Man because, like, you know, the other Spider-Man, they know when, like, they're running low on cartridges or whatever. But, like, Toby's like, I think I got enough left inside of me. I don't know.
Right.
We'll find out.
It's like, oh shit, I'm out of goo because I don't believe in myself
Oh,
or something.
yeah.
I don't know. Yo, I would never be Spider-Man after that. I'd be like, yo, this thing is not guaranteed. I'm not swinging.
Yeah. I'm a caterpillar man now. I walk on the ground. That's okay.
Okay, so another conversation that is bound to come up amongst all the Council of Peters are the respective love interests, because Tom has MJ but no Gwen. Andrew doesn't have an MJ and was in love with Gwen, but then she got, you know, snapped, but not by Thanos, just by gravity, which is arguably worse.
Damn.
Can't be gravity.
Damn.
Can't be gravity.
Gwen got snapped.
Make sure you tell your vertebrae that.
Shit.
And Toby has dated both MJ and Gwen in his universe because he just got it like that.
I mean,
because
Yeah, he's got that black suit. You know, Gwen shows up, he's like, all right,
You know,
I don't need this MJ trash
I mean-
anymore.
exactly. Who knows how many girlfriends he actually had in Spider-Man 3? We just don't know.
Yeah, he was throwing eyes at his landlord's daughter. You know what I mean? He was giving her
Exactly.
eyes.
He was trying to get them cookies. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get them cookies. He wanted to make sure there was some nuts in them cookies. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely not.
God damn, how many commercials?
Powered by plant protein. Harvest snaps.
Tom learning about Toby's long-term involvement with MJ could put added pressure on his current budding relationship with his MJ.
I could see, like, you know, Tom being like, you know, he just got back from Europe, everyone knows who he is, and now he's found out that, like, oh, I'm supposed to be with her. It's some weird, like, universal destiny thing. It could, like, totally freak him out, you know?
There is a lot of things in Peter's life that seems to be constant amongst each universe.
Right.
So I think that, like, you know, especially with another thing we're going to talk about next with Uncle Ben, that's gonna be really freaking out.
Yeah, really
for
freaking
sure.
out.
Because it's like, what is going on? Why are all the Uncle Bens dead?
Yeah. Why does God hate Uncle Ben? Quite frankly, I'm tired of it.
But the most interesting thing here might have to be how Andrew reacts to all of this, because he was the one who lost his love in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and probably feels somewhat responsible for that. Because even in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, with the death of Gwen Stacy's father, he was already dealing with so much guilt about hanging out with Gwen Stacy when her father told him to keep her away from all that. So with Gwen Stacy dead, he's just like, oh shoot, like,
Whoopsie daisy!
given that he could be in the MCU, he could be looking for a Gwen Stacy in this reality that hasn't been revealed yet. So like, he could be trying to find her and bring her back to his reality because he wants, himself to feel better, and maybe the Stacy family to like not feel the loss of two family members because they already lost their dad.
Loki has established that variants can look the same, they can look different, but they can also look the same. We'll talk about it more later with J. Jonah Jameson. But if the Gwen in the MCU, is Emma Stone, right? And he sees her, would he lose his mind? Would he go crazy? Would he want to bring her back to his universe? Or would he want to stay here so he could be with her, even though she has no idea who he is?
It'd be really interesting to see how they handle a Spider-Gwen situation, and in like which version of Spider-Gwen we'll see, because like you said, there is Emma Stone, but there also is the Gwen from the Raimi trilogy.
Right.
So like we don't know which one.
Right.
But it's probably gonna be Emma Stone, because let's be real.
Maybe.
Why would they bring her in if they weren't gonna use it? Like, anyway.
We'll see.
Now, let us talk about Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and of course Peter Parker's parents. Because Peter's relationship with his family members has always been a core issue with this character. And all three versions of Peter Parker have had very different combinations of family members. And every Peter has an Aunt May. You gotta have an Aunt May.
Gotta have an
which
Aunt
is great to hear. And
Classic.
though Marissa Tomei Aunt May might be pissed to hear that the other Aunt Mays have houses and she's stuck in an apartment.
It's
which is
true.
bullshit.
It's true. Give her a house.
Bullshit.
Although Toby's Aunt May, she was losing the house, right? They had to go to the bank. That was like the whole thing.
This is true.
She like, oh, I didn't know I had to pay property tax. It's like,
Sorry, lady. Sorry, landowner. You gotta pay property tax, all right?
It's like, I don't give a fuck how old you are.
Come on.
she probably paid like $50 for that house 100 years ago. Come on, this is crap. New York City is crammed. Turn it into a multi-use building. Come on, lady.
I think it would be a crazy twist if what if at the end, or like at some point during Spider-Man 2, you find out that Aunt May paid off Doc Ock to rob the bank. So she can keep her house from being foreclosed.
Yes, I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street, I wouldn't know a thing.
It was true. It could happen.
That would be hilarious.
No offense to Sally Field. Great Oscar winner, lover. Obviously love Marissa Tomei. Don't tell my wife.
That's suspicious.
But Toby's Aunt May was great because she was just like sassy. She was senile when she needed to be like, oh, I didn't know that. But she had attitude. She was funny. She was a great Aunt May. Great Aunt May.
She just felt very comfortable. It's like, that's my grandma too. That's my aunt too.
Protect.
Like she'll just give you $20 and a little candy, like little strawberry candies. But of course, Uncle Ben is a really key player in the development of Tobey and Andrew Spider-Man, like we were talking about before. But we really haven't learned much about Tom's Uncle Ben. We've only seen his initials on some luggage, which seemed to suddenly confirm his existence at some point within the MCU. And both Tobey and Andrew Spidey lost their Uncle Bens in very brutal ways, and it had profound effects on their psyche, with pretty much every iteration of Spider-Man. And they both feel responsible for not using their new abilities to prevent their uncle's death. And this affects how they approach the great responsibility that comes with being Spider-Man. We don't know much about the death of Tom's Uncle Ben. He possibly wasn't even murdered. It could have happened by natural causes. We don't even know. But additionally, Uncle Ben's death could have happened before Tom even got bit by the spider. Or it could have happened after. And it's possible that Tom doesn't feel the same responsibility for it that Tobey and Andrew did.
It's a huge mystery. Like, what is up with Uncle Ben? And you're right, MT. Uncle Ben is so important for both Tobey and Andrew. Spider-Man are so affected by Uncle Ben because, like you said, they feel that responsibility. Andrew, sees Uncle Ben get shot. He sees it across the street. And he could have stopped it, but he just wanted his chocolate milk, right? It's crazy.
Oh! He needs some milk!
As far as we know, Tom's Spider-Man didn't have that, right? Like you said, Uncle Ben could have already been dead by the time he got back. And Tony kind of filled that role a little bit for him, also his Aunt May. But I think it would be really interesting for them to all talk about Uncle Ben. Because if it does come out that Tom was there and it did play a big part in him too, that would be like a fascinating reveal to finally get. And we just, curious minds want to know what happened to Uncle Ben in the MCU. We gotta know. We know it didn't run out on Aunt May. No living man is gonna leave Marissa Toe on.
Oh no way, absolutely. Would I not ever do that? Like Marissa Tomei is perfect. She has my initials and everything. We were meant to be together.
Meant to be together.
What if they go back in time, all three Peters, and they all three have to watch MCU Peters Uncle Ben die?
Just from the sidelines.
This is so crucial to our development that we have to watch it.
Or they take it, they're like, Tom, you have to see it, Tom. Toby and Andrew, we got together, we took a vote, we're gonna take you back in time, you gotta watch Uncle Ben. I'm sorry. You gotta watch Uncle Ben die. That's how you join the game.
It's how you join the gang. Oh my god.
Don't you cry.
Like they're crying at the same time.
Stop crying. Oh, this Uncle Ben's gotta die. Why the hell does Uncle Ben's gotta die? Why does he who remains kill all his Uncle Ben's?
Seriously, Kang just loves killing Uncle Ben. Just like that'll be the constant throughout the Secret Timeline.
I mean, they asked the Eternals, why didn't you help with Thanos? Eternals, why don't you help with Uncle Ben? Why is Uncle Ben gotta die every time? You guys are Eternals.
Seriously, just be
Uncle Ben.
And finally, we have Peter's parents. So for Toby and Tom, beyond being deceased, not much is known about them. But Andrew's parents were much more crucial in that storyline, if you remember, in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. They were killed on purpose because of the research that they were doing. It's like, the spider, like they were involved with the origins of Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, so they had to...
And they were assassinated on purpose, right? The MCU, they try and make Tom's parents be important, but I kind of like that not everyone has to be involved in some crazy conspiracy, right? Like, it's just this formative thing that this young lad has gone through.
There is, comic precedent for Peter Parker's parents being some super spies.
Yeah.
But it makes Peter less special if he comes from, a sort of special line family. I remember at one point Sony was even thinking about having an Aunt May solo film. And I was like, we don't need that. Why?
I wonder if Andrew will, it'll be like to Toby and Tom, did you guys find the secret subway car with all the tech inside of it? No? Not your parents? That was just That was just my weird parents? They're like, what? You didn't find the secret messages from your parents?
Imagine they all would just think when they find the same switch. It's like, oh my god, our parents are freaking nerds.
Our parents are nerds.
Of course, we have the Green Goblins as well, because those are a constant throughout the movies, or at least the first two anyway.
Right.
We haven't seen Norman, Harry, or Oscorp yet in the MCU, but we have a sort of inkling that Norman will be appearing in No Way Home. So it's probably going to be a variant, but we don't really know what's going to go on with that.
It is weird we haven't had any hint of any of the Osborns anywhere in the MCU.
Now is the perfect time, because now that Tony Stark is gone, there is a vacuum for another industry leader like Norman Osborn to pop up yet. But of course, Harry died in Tobey's universe, so we're probably not going to see him moving forward. But could Tom be persuaded to be on the lookout for Osborns in his universe? Because Osborns seem to be a problem for Peter, so I'm sure that they would talk about how, Osborns are no good. Just watch out for them Osborns, Just heads up.
I mean, it's also not 100% clear how, Norman Osborn from the Tobey universe would even get here, because he's dead.
Yeah.
Unless...
Dang, Norman Osborn is dead. Well, it's going to be a short, light, and sweet one today. I gotta double check a few things before I go to work tonight. So, yeah, I was gonna do a little bit more, but yeah, this is gonna be it. So, hopefully this one was cool. Got it done real quick. No attachments on this gun, which is why I thought it was super interesting. But I think there's gonna be an alternate version of this weapon. This one's called the Mach P5Ys, while there's a Mach 37. And yeah, I'm sure there's differences between them. If I looked it up, I can learn it, but I have no idea about that stuff. Either way, I'll just treat them as different guns. I like this one. It was like kind of quick and simple. And yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. I'm G Mr. Drew, at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. And yeah, check out my website, gmrdrew.art. Anything and everything I've done is on there. And if you're interested in getting any work like that from me, yeah, you may want to join my Patreon. For any just regular support, it's $1 a month, but starting at $3 a month, you can get commissions from me and things like that, and tons of options there. And other than that, you can find me on Fiverr. You just want to hire me for some freelance stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Another short episode. Love y'all. Peace.